Chapter 5. Reaus' Big Secret. The next day, I figured it was time to pay Reaus a visit. He has some questions he needs to answer, and he's definitely hiding something. I pulled into the school's parking lot and walked right in. "Hello, off," said the secretary at the front as I cut her off. "Where's Reaus?" I demanded. She told me Reaus was around cleaning somewhere, while classes were in session. I said, "Don't worry, I'll find him." Chapter 5. Reaus' Big Secret. The next day, I figured it was time to pay Reaus a visit. He has some questions he needs to answer, and he's definitely hiding something. I pulled into the school's parking lot and walked right in. "Hello, off," said the secretary at the front as I cut her off. "Where's Reaus?" I demanded. She told me Reaus was around cleaning somewhere, while classes were in session. I said, "Don't worry, I'll find him."
What are you doing here? You're not supposed to be here.
Reaus said, "Cut the crap, Reaus. Tell me where she is," I said. Reaus took a moment to respond as if he was reading my facial expression and discovered I knew something.
What do you know?
He asked. I said, "I went to your house yesterday. I saw pictures of Haley. Tell me why the fuck the lone school janitor has pictures of the missing kid all over his house." I was expecting Reaus to lose it and scold me for going into his house, but his demeanor never changed.
You finally went inside, you son of a bitch,
said Reaus.
Before my daughter went missing, I've been leaving the doors unlocked ready for you to go inside. Why did it take you so long?
No, this isn't how this was supposed to go. I was supposed to surprise you, and now you're telling me the missing kid has been your daughter all along, I said. Reaus said,
Why do you think I got a job as a janitor at the school?
It made sense now. So you could keep an eye on her?
Yes, I don't even live at that house. Tell me, officer, what else did you find?
I answered, I also went to visit Carrie, and she has completely changed since more and more has been unfolding. Reaus looked it directly in the eye and told me Carrie was evil. The only reason he bought that house was to be closer to Haley.
You don't understand. Carrie and I never married. When Haley turned 5, she kicked me out. She's turned Haley against me. And now that so many years have passed, my own daughter doesn't know I'm her father. Do you know what that's like?
Reaus asked me as he started to cry and sat down on the floor.
Carrie is evil. I know she loves Haley, but at the same time, I know she has something to do with her missing.
I looked down at Reaus and said, Why didn't you tell me this earlier? Every time I tried to talk to you, you acted like I have been your worst enemy.
Carrie knows,
said Reaus. I helped Reaus off the floor and started walking towards the bathroom door. I looked back at Reaus and said, What else is in that house? Reaus looked back at me and didn't say anything. Damn it, Reaus, what else is inside? I demanded. Reaus answered.
You won't believe me. Just look for the doll and you'll understand.
I walked down the hall back towards the school entrance. Not another doll, I thought to myself. Before I could head out of the school, I heard,
Officer Ray, you know you're supposed to sign in,
said Principal Landry. Sorry, ma'am, it was urgent,
It looked like it when you march right in here and assault one of my employees.
said Principal Landry.
I saw it on the cameras.
Great, I replied. I'm glad to know your cameras decided to work when we need them to work, I shouted. Principal Landry gasped as she couldn't believe what I just said. I pulled back into Reaus' driveway. I walked up to the front door and opened it without knocking. Almost immediately, I could feel the atmosphere had changed, similar to Brenda's, the flea market, and Hallie's bedroom at Carrie's house. Something was different, though. I wasn't scared. I wanted something to happen. I made sure my portable radio was on in case anyone or anything decided to reach out. Hello, I said. Nothing. Where's this doll Reaus was talking about? I looked all over and couldn't find it. I started looking for a basement, but there wasn't one. I also noticed Reaus' claim of him not living there added up. I didn't find any toiletries, clothes, nor food anywhere in the house. Unsure what to do next, I did the only thing I could think of. Hello, I said once more. Still nothing. I walked back to the front room and sat on the couch. Almost immediately, I felt as if I were being watched. I tried not to make it obvious, so I started to slowly look around for anything. Then I spotted it. In the corner, or my eyesight, I saw a pair of hands and eyes peeking through the kitchen window. I pretended not to notice and slowly looked away so I wouldn't blow my cover. I didn't have to look to know it was Carrie watching me. She must have seen my patrol car in the driveway and got curious. At this point, I was getting agitated. Carrie was making it too obvious that she knew more than anyone else. I stood up and walked out of the house. I was disappointed more than anything. I didn't have an encounter when I wanted one the most. It was as if I was supposed to have one, but something prevented me from having an encounter. I backed out of Reaus's driveway and started to head back towards town. I pulled into the police station parking lot and didn't even realize a news van was there waiting on me. Again, I thought to myself. Sure enough, a reporter and a cameraman rushed out from the news van and up to and bombarded me with the typical questions. As if it were perfect timing, and before I could answer any of the questions, the mayor walked out from inside the station. Sorry, we can't take any questions at this time. We have an emergency meeting, he said as he motioned for me to follow him inside the station. We locked the main door behind us and met with two other town board members. I know you're under pressure here, but we need to talk about what happened over the past few days, said the mayor. I knew exactly what he was talking about, but downplayed it. The county told me you guys were sweeping the flea market when a deputy caught you talking to a doll. Then you were at Brenda's house the other day and Brenda called and said she heard you talking to no one. You scared her. She heard you talking to someone and then you told her no one was inside her house. What's going on with you? Knowing I couldn't tell them the actual truth, I said the only thing I could think. I've been feeling the pressure to find this kid, and this is how I'm dealing with it. One of the board members looked at me and expressed their concerns over my mental well-being. The mayor followed up by saying he knows this is a lot for one person to take on, and had contacted state police for assistance. Damn, that's probably the worst thing that could have happened. This isn't your typical missing persons case, and they won't understand. The mayor then told me he wanted me to take a few days off and pass on my leads to state police so they can act and follow up while I'm off. Another board member asked me to check my email, as state police should have reached out to me by now. I went back to my office and opened the email from the trooper. Knowing I couldn't tell them everything I found out, I directed them towards some school students and told them I believe they know more than what they're telling me. I couldn't have anyone else checking into Carrie and Reaus, knowing they could possibly scare Carrie off into the woods, and no one would ever hear from her again. I went back to the main area, and the board members told me they scared the reporter off, and I should be good to go home without interruption. I told the mayor I forwarded all of my findings onto the state police, and that seemed good enough for him. I walked outside and began my drive home with a massive feeling that I failed. I felt as if I was supposed to accomplish more today, but I took the wrong route and had a major setback. I got home and it hit me. Carrie must have gotten the doll. She must have. She had to have been inside of the house, heard me pulling up, got the doll before me, and ran out the back. Reaus was not lying when he said Carrie knows everything. How am I supposed to make any progress when Carrie will always be one step ahead of me? I have to think of something. I'm going to need to do something to throw Carrie off so I can get back on the same level. I need to get back to where I was when Carrie would talk to me instead of watching me from a distance, and I know exactly what I need to do.